ESPN FC live on a Sunday. What about this? Arsenal 5, Manchester City 1. Mark Donaldson, Luis Miguel Echegaray, Stevie Nicol. Let's start with you, Stevie. How big a statement has Arsenal made today by putting 5 past the champions?
Look, I think if we were to look into a crystal ball this time last year and saw this result, you'd be trying to figure out how is that possible. And as big a result as it is from Arsenal's point of view, when you're looking at it from the other side, it's not as big a surprise as it should be. I mean, this City team has absolutely fallen off a cliff, and right now don't look as though they can beat anybody. And at the end of the day, you got to give Arsenal credit. It's hard to get out your brain that this was 5-1 against a team that's just won 4 Premier Leagues in the trot. It's just scary. But Arsenal got the tactics right. And anybody who plays City should do exactly what Arsenal did. And that is sit back, let them take forever to get up the front, knock the ball around for 3 or 4 days, get nowhere, and then cough the ball up, and then you hit them on the break. I mean, it's such a simple tactic that every single team, regardless of who they are, should play against Man City. And City walked into the trap. And again, credit to Arsenal, took every opportunity to hurt them that they could.
Knowing you need to do it and saying you need to do it is one thing. Actually doing it is another thing. Arsenal were brilliant today. They did exactly what Stevie's just said, LME. And I'm glad for Mikel Arteta to get that win, because there's always those that will say, oh, but this, but that. No one can say anything about Arsenal today. That is Mikel Arteta's biggest win. That's his statement win since he took over.
Yes, 100%. I'm in agreement about Stevie, and we're going to talk about Man City. I know we are, because that's the second time in a week they've conceded 4 or more goals, right? But this is about Arsenal. Every single Arsenal fan, Mikel Arteta, the players, they need to take this and really celebrate this. This is a huge victory. This is for the first time since 2000 and 2001 that Arsenal have done this much against Manchester City. But it's more than that, because we said it on Friday, MD. This is the moment for Arsenal. Take it, and take it exactly as what they did. And we can talk about the game itself. Obviously, Manchester City made a lot of errors, 100%. Beginning with the opening goal, Ortega as well. Maybe there's a discussion that he could have even saved Miles Skelly's finish. But honestly, you have to collectively look at this and say to yourself, well done, Arsenal, because even though Manchester City have obviously shown weaknesses throughout the season, you still had to take care of business. And by the way, there's been conversations, obviously, about the fact that, you still need a striker in the window. There were some chances being missed in the first half, but they just continued. And remember something here. It's not just about a good Arsenal performance from the likes of Martin Odegaard. I thought Trossard was good as well. Kai Havertz as well. But also, this is academy players now delivering, right? Really taking over a Manchester City side that really didn't know where to look. And when Erling Haaland scored, Arsenal could have easily flopped. They could have easily fallen down and allowed Manchester City to take place, but they didn't. I do agree with a very important point that Stevie said, which is this. I think that now we are entering a situation where you're figuring out Manchester City pretty easily, and Arsenal did that. But this is about Arsenal taking 3 points and making a statement by saying to Liverpool, look, this is not over yet. I know it's tough, but we're still around.
Stevie, what impressed you most about Arsenal today?
I'm sorry, boys. I'm finding this really difficult. I can't get it out of my head.
I knew he was going. Yeah.
Everything Emily said there is correct. Arsenal deserve huge credit for the way they went about it. They scored 5 goals. We're talking about centre forward, the whole thing. But I'm sorry, I can't get in my head that this Manchester City side right now are not favourites to beat Southampton. Never mind Arsenal away. I mean,
they are. Look, a trip to Brentford maybe, but Southampton, everybody's favourite to beat Southampton.
Listen to yourself. To yourself. How long have we been sitting watching this Manchester City team absolutely crash and burn against anybody and everybody?
I know, Stephen, but prior to this game, though...
It's absolutely incredible.
But prior to this game, though...
I know it sounds as if I'm not giving Arsenal enough credit. I don't want to do that. I just think that we have never seen a side so good, so quickly be not even bad, but just horrible.
So what's happened, Stevie? Why has it happened?
They have all completely and utterly lost confidence in themselves and everybody around them. 100%. You know, they can't possess the ball anymore. And they can't possess the ball because they're unsure. They're unsure of themselves. They're unsure of the guy standing next to them. It's like a disease. I mean, this time last year again, we're talking about, I mean, let's start at the back. Edison and Ortega. We're sitting here going, I'll tell you what, imagine having two fantastic goalkeepers. That it doesn't really matter which one you put in the goal. Pep Guardiola right now is figuring out which one is not going to give him as many problems by making so many mistakes. And then you go from that to the back four. My goodness. I mean, the goals as well taken as... I mean, Havertz's goal is beautifully taken. But nobody's closing anybody down. I don't remember a tackle. Did any Man City player make a challenge on an Arsenal player? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then go in the middle of the park again, giving the ball away, nobody doing anything. I mean, all through the commentary, everybody's talking about Haaland not touching the ball. Well, the one time they crossed the ball into the box, they had 30 opportunities to do it. And the one time they did it, they scored a goal, and then they stopped doing it as well, if they managed to get that far. Anyway, I'm sorry. I do agree we should talk a bit more about Arsenal, but I'm sorry, my mind's blown. I can't imagine how this has just gone so bad so quickly.
One of the key things about being a broadcaster or being a journalist is give your audience something they don't know. Tell them something they don't know. Now, Stevie, you were part of one of the best teams that England has seen, Liverpool. But as they say in this country, the United States, you can't have a dynasty forever. So from what you've just said about Manchester City, and I asked you the question, how have they gone from where they were to where they are? Do you see similarities between what's happening at City right now and what you were part of towards the end of your Liverpool career, where you had an aging side that had achieved a lot, but just couldn't do it anymore? Are there similarities there?
Yes, because we ended up in the same position that City are in now. And when I say that, I'm talking about terms of losing confidence in yourself and going from just playing and doing things at high tempo with great consistency, with a little bit of gold spring magic dust on the top, and it kind of eroded for us bit by bit to end up where City are now. The difference between the side I played in that went wrong and the City team is the pace that it's gone so wrong. You know, to completely lose confidence in yourself, one. And we're talking about, look at the team, we're talking about world-class players who have seen it, done it, and got the T-shirt, but they all seem to have gone at the same time. And I think the biggest one of all, I think it really is the biggest one of all, when you lose confidence in the guy standing next to you, and then he's doing the same thing, and he's doing the same thing with the other, you know, to completely lose confidence in what you're doing with your teammates, you just end up going nowhere. And City are going nowhere right now.
LME, Arsenal have set the bar today. That is what they can do. That is what's probably going to be expected of them every week as far as that bar has been set. However, is there still that worry at the back of Arsenal fans' minds that they drew at home to Brighton? Okay, Liverpool draw, that's not a bad result. But they also drew at home to Everton and they drew at home to Aston Villa. So yeah, they can get the big results against the big teams and the title challengers. But there's always that concern that, oh, it's Everton at home, or oh, it's Brighton at home, and I know they had a player sent off that day. Could this result today give them the confidence that those draws at home are turned into wins going forward?
Yeah, So here's what I think. I think that in this world of ours, when we analyze these matches, or whether you're a fan or a journalist or a pundit, we get lost a little bit and forget about context. Because when you speak about those performances or those results, I'm in complete agreement with you. And it's actually something within the DNA of almost every football fan, especially an Arsenal one, because they really still haven't won this Premier League title. And that's exactly what they want, right? But when you look at the context of what's happening, Arsenal are the only team in the Premier League that have not lost a game at their own stadium. Just now, with this win, they have equaled Mikel Arteta's. It was already their best record under Mikel Arteta. Now 14 matches without losing a game. Unai Emery had the same in his first season with Arsenal. Now Mikel Arteta has that. So what that tells me is that there's going to be blips on the road. But when you look at the fact that 14 matches now, they are undefeated under Mikel Arteta. Since the 11th match day of the season, nobody in the Premier League has a better record than Arsenal. So to me, that's context that's necessary looking forward. I will say, though, in agreement with you, that if you want to win the Premier League title, you have to do more. That's why there's criticisms of they need to have a goal scorer and all that stuff. But what today meant to me was that they made a statement. They made a statement, and just like Stevie's talking about the player next to you is not feeling confident, whatever, this is now the confidence builder that they need. And yes, granted, they still need to keep up with Liverpool, but these are the victories that you need in order to build confidence, momentum, and keep going. And again, if you want to win the title, you have to do this and then continue on. And today was a massive thing. And I'm with Stevie. I'm with Stevie, man. Like, this is a complete destruction of a kingdom with Manchester City. It's unbelievable what we're seeing. Like, amazing. The fact that they continue to lose this, and some of the mistakes are just horrific. And I blame both the players and the manager, because to have Mateus Nunes as a right back is an abomination of a decision. Like, Leandro Trossard made him look silly at points, right? But then again, those self-inflicted wounds that they caused, John Stones' passes to Manuel Akanji for that opener was disastrous. So there are issues, but Arsenal today deserve the credit. That needs to be the headline, because they didn't just win. They absolutely destroyed them. And by the way, leading up to this game, with all the problems, Manchester City was 6 matches undefeated in the league. So they were kind of building something here. Marmoush was there. They had some new arrivals. And yet, Arsenal didn't just win and take advantage. They destroyed them. So yes, I'm agreeing with Stevie. This is a horrific mess of Manchester City, but Arsenal need to take full credit here. And that needs to be the headline, because winning 5-1 is a massive achievement.
I think this is actually a great result and performance for Arteta, because as a coach, you're always looking for different things in order to not just be coming up with the same old. Mm-hmm. And so what this result and performance has done for Arteta is, over the next weeks and games and whatever, every time he's in that dressing room before a game or at half time or whatever it may be, he's got that big stick now where he can go, this is the standard you set against Manchester City. This is the standard you set against the best. And that's great for a coach, because that keeps everybody on their toes. It means that they can't be sloppy. Because if they're sloppy, it's such a great, you can get that big stick out and go, don't you dare. We know, you know, and I know this is not acceptable. You set a standard against Manchester City, and we did this and we did that, and you cannot, between now and the end of the season, drop below that. I mean, it's such a great position for Arteta to be in terms of making sure everybody produces that type of performance every time they step on the field.
100%. Yeah.
Stevie, as a Liverpool fan and a former player, has your opinion of Arsenal as title contenders and title challengers to your side changed after watching that 90 minutes?
No, and I think I'm probably coming from a professional point of view, because when I see a performance like that from Arsenal today, I automatically go straight to, why are you 6 points in a game and possibly 9 points behind? That's where I go to, because that's kind of what I would do if I was an Arsenal player, and I'm driving home tonight after this game, and I look at the league table and I go, How can we be 6 points and possibly 9 points behind? How do we get ourselves in a position where it doesn't matter how good we are, it's really not about what we do anymore. It's do Liverpool slip up? So that would be the frustration that I would feel. How do we get in this position when we can be so good? Because they can be, but they've just slipped up too many times.
You'll know you can't win a league title without some scrappy, ugly wins.
Bournemouth.
Liverpool went to Bournemouth. Arsenal go to Bournemouth. Liverpool get 3 points. Arsenal get nothing from them.
Liverpool were way worse.
There you go. So it's about scrapping your way. It's about finding your way. Arsenal went to Newcastle, lost that game as well. So just too many draws right now. But look, they're very much in this one. And look, there'll be Everton supporters. The Arsenal fans will be cheering on Everton next midweek when Everton face Liverpool, which won't be an easy game the way Everton are playing right now. But I'm glad we've all kind of said this is about Arsenal and what they have done today. Because
I had to get it off my chest. Let me put it out.